Hi, my name is Jennifer Steele, and I would like to talk to you today about ADHD and the benefits of treating ADHD through diet rather than medication. It's important when we talk about ADHD that you understand that ADHD is an actual neurological disorder that affects the brain. At times it can be very confusing because many symptoms of ADHD look like symptoms of other things. So it's important that when you go to the doctor or you take your child, that you understand what you're explaining so that you don't get an improper diagnosis or get yourself or your child improperly medicated. I would like to share with you some information that I found out while doing my research on ADHD, which shocked me. Currently today, between 3 and 7% of all kids in school have ADHD. And in 2006, 4.5 million children between the ages of 5 and 17 were successfully diagnosed with ADHD. To me, that's a lot of children who are taking a lot of medication that they possibly could not be taking by just changing their diet. Personally, for me, it's my goal to get everybody persuaded to try the diet, as I have a child with ADHD. And we are currently trying what is called an elimination diet to see what trigger foods and what items create her ADHD activity. So I'm hoping that it has a positive effect. So during my lecture, I want to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about the introduction of ADHD, what it is, what it stands for, some of the symptoms, and some of the misconceptions. Items that can trigger ADHD reactions, trigger foods, so that you know what things you can possibly leave in or take out of your diet to eliminate some of these actions. The dangers of introducing medication into a body and the long-term effects that it can have. The benefits of changing your diet for ADHD rather than medicating. And I'm hoping by the end of my speech that I will have positively influenced you guys with a persuasive argument to, if you know somebody who has ADHD or a child of yours has ADHD, to try a change of diet rather than do a medication change or an introduction of medication, as to me medication should be a last resort for this diagnosis. So we'll start with the definition of ADHD. ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Like I said before, this is an actual neurological disorder that affects the brain. It confuses the messages that are being sent to the brain in the proper way, causing the child to act out. You have miscommunication, which creates hyperactivity. ADHD is also a hereditary thing. So if you have a child or an adult with ADHD, chances are that one of their parents had ADHD and has learned to cope with it through medication or social living or diet, possibly. Currently, I am taking a class with Dr. Bruno Kappas online through AA, Psychology A111, and we talk about in many lectures the effect that ADHD has on the body and the effect that food has on the brain in regards to ADHD. So it's encouraged me to try this. So some of the foods we talked about that can trigger ADHD reactions. Fast food. Fast food is like the #1 item that that as Americans need to eliminate from our diet. It creates many other issues besides ADHD, so in general, we should probably eliminate some of it, or if not all of it. Another item that triggers ADHD reaction, yellow foods, corn, squash, not bananas. Bananas are white. There is a natural chemical in yellow food that doesn't agree with everybody's body. So by eliminating that, you can see the positive and negative effects that it would have on the person that has ADHD possibly. Another one is dairy. Some doctors think that dairy is the main contributing factor to ADHD. Not all agree, but some do. So milk, cheese, yogurt, any dairy food, try eliminating it to see what kind of reaction it has in your body. Rather than just being lactose intolerant, it can be other things as well. Deep fried foods, big contributor. Deep fried foods actually eliminate omega-3 and omega-6 vitamins out of the body. One of the other items is items in cellophane wrappers, processed foods, fruit snacks, candy bars, granola bars, those type of things. By eliminating those, your body could have a positive reaction to that as well. The last one I want to talk about is fruit juice. Fruit juice is a big topic. We sell it in bulk. Everywhere you see it in big jars saying 100% natural fruit. We'll talk about apple juice. One small glass of apple juice has the content of 8 apples with no fiber benefit. So that's not anything positive. And I want to make sure we understand that it's not about sugar we're talking about, it's processed sugar. Natural sugar doesn't affect, you have a little bit of hyperactivity, but not the same hyperactivity we're talking about with ADHD. So, some of the dangers about introducing medication into a body. Studies that have shown, there are many studies that have shown that children who are on ADHD medication are linked to a higher risk in the future of drug abuse. Drug abuse, we talk about alcoholism, smoking, chewing tobacco, and other drugs. Also, one of the dangers is if your child is misdiagnosed. You're putting medication into their body unnecessarily. You could have an adverse reaction, unsocial behavior, lack of appetite, those type of things. Some of the benefits of changing diet with ADHD rather than taking medication. Little or no medication into the body. You won't have to increase any of your diet dosage. Most medications that we take, penicillin, amoxicillin, thyroid medication, all have to be adjusted, especially if we're taking it consecutively, so that you don't have this risk to the body. Over time with immune medication, it does build up an immunity, so you want to make sure you don't have that negative effect. Studies have shown that children that have ADHD have a lower level of omega-3 and omega-6 in their system. They think omega-3 and omega-6 have many contributing factors to ADHD. This diet that we're trying is a diet that's dictated by Dr. Doug Cowan, and it's called an elimination diet. So you take these foods out for weeks at a time and then introduce them back in to see the reaction or the effect on the person. Omega-3s and omega-6s can be found in supplements. They can also be found in flax, which is very good for everybody, but mostly it's essential for kids with ADHD. One interesting fact that I did find out, the medication that they give for kids with ADHD is called Ritalin. 10 milligrams of coffee equal 5 milligrams of Ritalin. So if you were to give your child 10 milligrams of coffee rather than 5 milligrams of Ritalin, it could have the same reaction. This is one of the things that we are trying. So in conclusion, I'm hoping that you guys understand more about ADHD and the benefits that food can have over medication. And like I said, we are currently doing this with our daughter because she does have ADHD, and we are finding many positive effects. One of the coffee and of other things being taken out of her diet. I appreciate you giving me the time to talk about it. Thank you very much.